Have you ever played Football Manager and found one AI manager particularly hard to play against? What if you took 8 AI managers and gave them the challenge of saving Sheffield Wednesday from relegation? Who would you think would come out on top? The wily old fox Carlo Ancelotti or the young upstart Mikel Arteta? So I took these 8 AI managers and gave them this task. They have one season with the Owls, there are no restrictions to transfers, and we shall rank all the managers in a league. The one with the highest win ratio or the best points per game will be the winner. And boy, was I surprised with the results. Now, before we get into the results, one other thing, I will, towards the end of the show, try and replicate that AI manager's successful tactic. The manager who ended up with the worst record, I am so sorry, all you Inter Milan fans, is Simone Inzaghi. Yes, this is a manager who's just recently extended his contract at the Italian club, but he wasn't so successful in our AI experiment. This manager prefers to use a 3-5-2 with attacking wingbacks, deploying it either as a mid or a high block. And while most commentators agree that his systems are effective, they're difficult to defend against because there are no identifiable patterns of play. However, none of that came to pass for Mr. Inzaghi. His team struggled with a 15% win ratio, 0.69 points per game. That's not very good, giving him the dubious honor of being at the bottom of the league. I'm not a big fan of the 3-5-2 when you're using a defensive midfielder. I know there are some ways to make it work, but it eventually ends up like a wing based attacking system that delivers a lot of crosses, thereby creating plenty of headers at goal. And we all know headers don't produce the best XG. So, yes, I wasn't surprised with the result from this experiment involving Simeone Inzaghi's 3-5-2. The manager just above Simeone Inzaghi, you Arsenal fans are not going to like this. Yes, it's Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta only had a 22% win ratio with 0.86 points per game. He didn't last long in the job. Looking at his tactics, we can probably understand why. Those Mazalas like to be in the half space, leaving some gaps in the center of the pitch. And then we've got used to the inverted wingback that can also be vulnerable to the winger. It's not a tactic I like on Football Manager. It's, again, one of those tactics that favors crossing. Third from the bottom, Thiago Motta. The Bologna manager who started his career in 2019 with Genoa, he famously once stated that he wants to revolutionize the 4-3-3 and turn it into a 2-7-2 with an attacking goalkeeper. However, while he did last the full duration of his contract with the Owls, he had a 25% win ratio and 0.95 points per game. Have you ever wondered what Thiago Motta's tactical system looks like? This is the manager who wants to play with the goalkeeper as the next attacker, right? Inverted fullback, inverted wingback, register volante, inverted winger, shadow striker, deep line forward. Now, doesn't this look? This looks a lot like the Unai Emery system. Unai Emery system is an advanced forward. Two inverted wingers, they will come in this way, looking to play through balls to this. This is, in fact, a pretty decent system. This system probably depends on teams actually camping in the opponent's third and controlling the half, because you got a deep line forward and a shadow striker. They're both trying to create for it. He's trying to create for the shadow striker. The inverted winger is trying to create for the shadow striker. It's like, hang on a minute. Why do we need three players here trying to create? They should have just stuck with these two to create. And this could have been an advanced one with the shadow striker. It would have been a much better combination. This tactic was just a few rolls shy of being a good tactic. You would think that a manager like Carlo Ancelotti would finish much higher on our list. After all, this is a manager who's won a league title in all top 5 leagues and also has won the European Cup 4 times. But in our little challenge, he was top of the bottom half of the table with 1 point per game and a 26% win ratio. The narrow diamond isn't one of the best systems in the game, requiring both wingbacks to be dynamic in every match. This system still leaves vacant spaces down the flanks to be exploited, and I'm not surprised that this formation or this tactic didn't do better. I'm not a big fan because the deep line playmaker works with an inverted fullback against the target forward. Now, this is a pretty conservative side of the pitch. Deep line playmakers are on support duty. You don't expect them to keep charging up the pitch. Now, inverted fullbacks are only going to attack the opponent's third when you have successfully controlled the opponent's half. Now, If that doesn't happen, then he's just going to be around these areas. He's not going to venture very high up the pitch, leaving you with only these four players to develop attacks on the right side: the wing back, the box to box, the shadow striker, and advance forward. Now, a lot of the onus is going to come on this wing back. Carlo Ancelotti's system wasn't my favorite. We're down now to the final four. We've got Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, Xabi Alonso, and Unai Emery. Who will finish on top? My commiserations to all the Liverpool fans. It certainly wasn't Jurgen Klopp. He finished fourth on our list with a 24% win ratio. Now, naturally, his systems are very resource heavy. They require the right kind of players, and I don't think the Owls could fit their players into the system well enough to finish high on the table. Still, though, the German kept his job as he steered them away from relegation with a 1.10 points per game. One thing I'm always prepared for against the AI manager is if the AI manager actually changes those roles during the match. Klopp's tactical systems do produce fantastic through balls for their inside forwards to take advantage of. There are some weaknesses to his system. The use of the inverted fullback on the left flank do leave his sides open to wingers who are exploiting the space on that side. In spite of that 24% win ratio, Jurgen Klopp kept his job and steered Sheffield Wednesday away from relegation. Ahead of him was Xabi Alonso, who had a 29% win ratio with about 1.11 points per game. He left the team in 17th position to seek better pastures elsewhere. In my opinion, on Football Manager 24 currently, there are three top systems: the 4-2-3-1, the 4-4-2, and the 5-2-2-1. And this 5-2-2-1 by Xabi Alonso is pretty good. Now, it features two roaming roles on the flanks. These are complete wingbacks. They can come inside, they can go wide. We've also got three central defenders, two of whom are going to support any build-up down the flanks. They're both wide centre-backs. But look at the pairing in the middle. They've got a Segundo Volante and they've got a ball-winning midfielder. The Segundo Volante is most likely on support. He's bombing up. The ball-winning midfielder is holding his position. And then you can see that there's going to be a lot of synergy between the complete wing-back, the Segundo Volante, and the attacking midfielder, who's most likely on support. This allows them to build up play consistently down both flanks. Now, the right flank is probably going to have a more attacking complete wing-back. This will allow them to have get within the attack down the flanks. They've got an advance forward, a shadow striker, good build up down the left side. It's no surprise that this is a tactic that has done reasonably well for Xabi Alonso in this challenge, and it potentially could be a strong system for anyone to try and replicate. So we're down to our final two, what some might call one of the greatest tacticians of the modern game, or one of the biggest frauds of the modern game, Pep Guardiola. And then we've got Unai Emery. The manager something cannot manage a top quality side and has to settle for middling sides in a league just to look good. Which of these two managers do you think is going to win the challenge? The winner is Unai Emery. But first, we'll get, Pep out of the way, make him look good a bit. Okay, so Pep Guardiola finished in second spot with a win ratio that matched Xabi Alonso's 29%. Stayed in the job with a 1.12 points per game, keeping the Owls safe from relegation. Still, though, only 17 on the table. So, unremarkable. All these managers from number 2 down to the bottom, just narrowly escaping relegation, right? But there's one standout among all of them. That's why we're going to skip Pep very quickly and focus on Unai Emery. Because Unai Emery was surprisingly good. He emerged as the best AI manager in this challenge. His team had an astounding 46% win ratio, 1.54 points per game. He only managed 41 games because he could leave the team in relative safety in 9th position and then go to find himself another club, which is amazing. Unai Emery stands out as the best manager of this challenge. Did you get your choice right? Because I certainly did not expect Unai Emery to finish right at the top. Although I have to admit that whenever I play against Unai Emery on Football Manager, I find it particularly challenging because this is a manager who tends to change his tactics during a game. He tends to fit players into his preferred system. He also has 2 formations that he can turn to within one game. He starts out with a 4-2-4, And then when he wants to protect his lead, he sometimes switches to the 4-2-3-1. And this is where things actually get interesting. He doesn't always stick to the same roles and duties. If he's got a target man kind of player, he uses a target man in front. If he needs an advance forward, he uses an advance forward. And how about this? He's double pivot in midfield. Sometimes he will start with a regista and a volante, which kind of surprised me because he passed the regista with an inverted wingback. And other times, when he wants to be a bit more solid defensively, he'll go with a regista and a defensive midfielder. This versatility is probably one of the reasons why Unai Emery is actually harder to play against on Football Manager. So I thought to myself, why not replicate a system for myself? I mean, I've done it before. Once I played an AI, it was using a 4-4-2 with two ball-winning midfielders. I thought, yeah, this can't work. I played against the AI and it smashed me 6-1. And I went like, yeah, now it works. Okay, maybe I want to try the same thing for myself. So I replicated, turned into one of my best systems. Then I encountered the AI again. It was using double DMs. And this time I was thinking, no, really, this is too generic. It can't really work, can it? And again, the AI smashed me. That's when I learned sometimes it's better, to try and see what it's doing right. And maybe I can try something different, because there's a common misconception out there that the AI uses preset tactics. It doesn't. It uses tactics specifically created for those managers. So the researchers go out, they study the manager's tactical system, and they come up with 3 tactical systems. And for some of these managers, they give them versatility, meaning the manager might change things around in the game. Some managers are stubborn, they stick to one tactical system, but Unai Emery is a very fascinating manager, and it's going to be fun doing this. So I'm going to try and replicate his system and see whether we can come close to what the AI is doing and maybe make it work for myself. So there's several ways you can do this. One, you can create another manager and take over a club that's about to play them, and then you go to the data hub and see what it says about the next opposition. Then you play the game, and then you try and spot what the roles and duties are. And that's what I actually did in a few of these matches. So after kickoff, you can see that this is basically a high defensive line. They win the ball back, and then this is the regista, and this is the volante. The regista shifts to the left. Now, there's a suggestion that this could be focus play, because the central midfielder actually went to the side of the focus. And there's plenty of simple things that you can tell from that transition alone. The 2 strikers are forward. You can see how close they are. And as they win the ball back, one drops back, the advance forward goes up, and he pushes ahead. Now, at this point, I might check this again. He could be on attack because it's moved up relatively fast. And then as he cuts inside, this is definitely inside forward. And there's a bit of a hold up of play from the widest player, which is interesting because I normally associate that with underlaps. And then we've got the defensive line is quite high because these guys stepped up. So normally when you see this defenders coming up really quickly, there are 2 things that are happening. One is the defensive line. The gap between the defensive line and line of engagement is pretty narrow, suggesting this is a high defensive line, and this could be a high line of engagement. The second thing is, of course, the pressing intensity. This could be set to quite high. It's at least close to being maxed out. Okay, so now this confirms one thing, right? This guy is definitely in attack duty. He's all the way up here. This is the winger on the left flank. So now we know that the winger on the left flank is an inside forward on attack duty, and this is an inside forward on support duty. So this is an attack duty sitting behind a regista and an inverted wing back. And you've got 2 strikers, one on support and one on attack. And we are looking, I'm actually not paying attention to this role. Yes, this is definitely inverted wing back, and he is most likely on defend. We want to see whether he moves up the pitch. If he moves up the pitch, he's going to be on support. Yes, he's on support. He's not on defend. He gets into the final third. This suggests that this is a support duty. This is the regista. And you can see that this is the inverted fullback on defend. They got a 3-2 build out with both. This guy is on attack. This role is on support. This gives me something to work with. And the attacking shape is not very wide. So this is definitely a narrower attacking shape. As if they get into the final third and they try to get into the area. There's not a lot of width from either role, so this could be quite narrow in attack, which would help them with their counter press. So that's generally a decent starting point. You got a high defensive line, a high block, probably an underlap, narrow attacking width. They've got standard passing or shorter to standard passing. They've got inside forward on the left flank who's on attack and another on the right flank who's on support. They got the inverted wingback on support duty, and the two striker roles. One is support, one attack. That's pretty clear. And the attacking shape seems to suggest that there might be an underlap. Although I'm not going to put it in. We will play a couple of games and see whether or not it looks that way. I also noticed one other thing when I was playing against Unai Emery. Once they take the lead, sometimes it's a one-goal lead. He sometimes shifts into a 4-2-3-1 to hold down that lead. And he's got a much more balanced setup in that one. And it looks like in that setup, he's also changing roles as well in the Regista and the Volante. And sometimes it goes Regista and DM. And we are also going to try and incorporate that as well as one of our strategies with the Unai Emery tactical system. At this point, they have a 2-goal lead, and they've actually shifted into a 4-2-3-1. You can see it right here. They've got one player now as a DM, and the other one's the Regista. And they've got Windass now as a AMC. So they just won the ball. And they've gone from defending. And now this is the part where they do the transition. The inverted wingback comes in. Now here against Swansea, they're clearly playing a 4-2-3-1. You can see this shape building up. As they defend, this player drops in. And then the inverted wingbacks will defend. And this Gassama is definitely on support. Now he's coming back to help the team defend. And this is definitely clearly a much more conservative system from the AI. Once the goalkeeper gets the ball, you can see the shape now. It's a 4-2-3-1. Very clear now. This is definitely going to be an attack duty with an attack duty, support duty and a support duty, with the 4 here and the 2 here. When they kick the ball long, once they get possession, he shifts in. He's an inverted wingback. And then they go back into their defensive position. Yep, he's a shadow striker. He gets the ball and then plays it back to Eofa as an inverted fullback. This guy's on support duty. He's on support as well. He shifts inside, looks for a run. Okay, they're playing narrow. Yeah, they're playing extremely narrow as well. So this setup is almost similar to their 4-2-4. There's not too much variation between the two in terms of instructions. Here we go. The defensive line is pretty tight to the line of engagement, but their block is definitely slightly different from the last one. This is probably more inclined towards being a mid block. One thing, this is Sheffield Wednesday. They're expected to battle against relegation. So this is the tactical system we're using with Sheffield Wednesday. The 4-2-4 will be an advanced format DLFS, inside forward attack, inside forward support, a Volante on attack, a Regista, inverted wing backs. We'll get this guy to hard tackle. There we go. And we'll get this guy to hard tackle as well. All right, so we've got these roles and duties, right? The PIs are going to be, I think, going to drop this a notch because this is quite high. Get stuck in and step up more. We got player defense, dribble less. We got underlap because I noticed this player would come in and try and make those passes. So I think you can actually go even narrower, but we'll leave it at this. We'll leave it like this for now. We could also add a sit narrower to encourage more of their movement. Then furthermore, we are going to be using this 4-2-3-1, which is almost similar to the last one with the same, almost the same team instructions. And then we've got inside forwards with mark type. We've got these guys marking that except for him, Volante, Regista, inverted wing, same roles and duties. Because there isn't too much difference between the two, except I'm going to play this as a mid block. So our first match is going to be against Preston. And we will be taking the game to them with the 4-2-4. Well, apparently the players seem to like the tactical system. That's good news. So we've got the 4-2-4 versus a 5-2-2-1. Now, this is interesting. We're defending, so he's come down quite deep, just like the earlier highlights. Okay, so we got our Regista is here, our Volante is here, our inverted wingback is somewhere around. Okay, he's gone missing. Oh, our inverted wingback is all the way up here. Now, he's got to come back. That must have been after the clearance. So our inverted wingback is quite wide. Then he shifts in. Okay, we've got a 3 here. This is not bad. I actually beginning to like how inverted wingback is playing. Ooh, that's nice. I didn't know that was possible with the inverted wingback. So far, so good. I'm liking some of the transition patterns. I'm looking at the pass maps as well. Now we're defending. The ball gets in. Yeah, the defenders clear the ball. Again, it's good build out. It comes in. Windass. Poveda comes in just like he did in the early one. The Volante links up play. And we've got the inverted wingback. It's looking quite decent actually at the moment. With the Volante, the ball playing defender brings the ball forward, then goes back to the inverted fullback. And it's quite narrow. Yeah, it's actually very narrow, which I'm liking. I think I'm seeing too much stepping up. So we're going to remove the stepping up. We're going to remove the get stuck in. Pedersen to our defenders. Then the Volante plays it back to the ball playing defender. And he gets it back to the inverted wingback. And they get the Volante into the area. And he scores the first goal. What a beauty that was. It was a fantastic goal from the Segundo Volante with an absolutely astounding through ball from the middle. Pedersen played it to Ugbo, the advance forward, plays one beautiful ball over to Wokes, and Wokes just runs in as the Segundo Volante to score. Now, we can go into the 4-2-3-1 at this point to try to hold on the lead. Yes, we will do it. And this is crazy, man. You know, but many people say never change tactics. Yeah, but we are doing this on the show because we're going to try and protect the lead. But we are definitely removing step up more. Yeah. And we'll leave the prevent shot goalkeeper distribution because we got 3 top heavy. We have a top heavy tactic because you have those 3 in front here. So we got the ball playing defenders looking for passing options. He has plenty. So he plays it to the register. Now he goes to the Segundo Volante. The Shadow Striker couldn't get to the ball. And the hard tackle on the Pedersen encouraged Pedersen to come out. We could tell them to invite crosses. And that might keep him a bit narrow. Okay, what we're going to do now is do something I noticed the AI doing. Okay, we're going to go defensive midfielder on support. When I was playing the AI and he was trying to hold on a 1-0 lead, he actually changed his role to a defensive midfielder on support. And now they've changed Volante ball-winning midfielder. Michael Smith as a target man, because I've seen it happen in my matches. Yeah, so we're going to have a target forward now. And then it's exactly what the AI did to me. I was playing against Unai Emery and he did exactly the same thing. So I saw these changes and I was like, wow, all right, that's cool. James now with the ball to Kasana, to Windass. Windass to Hendrik. Hendrik finds Bannon. Goes back to Diaby. Iofa with the inverted fullback now going down the line. He's going to hold out the ball looking for Bannon. And it's a great ball to the inside forward. Bannon takes a shot. It ricochets off a player and comes off the upright. We won the match 1-0 at home. It wasn't fantastic, but it was my first run out with the Unai Emery system. So I basically used the system and the system at the same time, and they kind of work together, right? So we got a mid block. We're gonna remove this because there's no point having that anymore. I think this is more trouble than it's worth, and this could be the start of an Emery system. So we got one. We'll save this, and then we'll save this, and we'll give it another run. Our next match is gonna be against Cardiff. This is fairly attacking, whereas this, we'll push it up to positive. We'll play with a mid-block. We'll start with this instead. The ball-playing defender out to the inverted wing-back on support. He finds the inside forward who comes inside. Yes, plays the ball to the other inside forward. He will come inside, play to the inverted fullback, goes back to the ball-playing defender, goes back to the other ball-playing defender. Now, here goes, what a pass! Holy cow! Pedersen with the ball. He finds the defender, Bannon, the register, plays it back to him. The Volante on attack. Now he's looking for options. The DLFS, the inside forward, once again to the other ball playing. The inside forward goes back. There's good patterns of play down the left. We don't need focus play. Yeah, there's no need for a focus play because the role keeps shifting naturally to the left. And it's a narrow configuration. This is going to help us with the counter pressing. Inside forward, looks for options, loses the ball. The volante goes into support. Yeah, we got a mid block going, and it's looking quite decent at the moment. All right, the ball comes up. Again, there's good pressure on the team. They get the ball into a dangerous position, and they score the first goal. Damn it. Why we looked good for a while, and then we conceded. Oh, this is not good. This is not good. I do not like to go a goal behind. It's good movement. I think our lines were too high, but they got okay, I'm telling you what, they've got yellow cards all over the place. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into our 4-2-4, and then we'll play pass into space, work ball into box. We go for the low cross as well. We might as well. We've got yellow cards everywhere. There's no point us sitting back now. We're a goal behind. So using the other formation, which I think is the more attacking formation, and since we've gone a goal behind, it makes no sense to play what I would think is a more defensive formation. Diaby, the ball-playing defender, they're working. The movement at the back is actually quite reassuring. The ball-playing defender finds the central defender finds the ball play. He's not going to play ambitious passes because he's only a central defender. Oh, this is terrible. It's a second yellow card. Oh, yes, the 4-2-4 is working. One player is already out of the game. Let's hope there are 3 more players with yellow cards. Maybe we can get a few more sent off, and that makes the game a lot easier. Then we don't have to worry. Great tactic. Gets players sent off. What a pass. What an equalizer. Holy cow. Is he offside? Is he offside? He is not. That is such a good goal. That is such a good goal. Oh, my lordy. What? The passing is sensational. What a pass to Windass. He comes in completely unmarked, puts it past Hallworth. It's 1-1. I feel evil. Maybe. All we need now is a few players that are tired and in need of rest, and we'll hard tackle them too. Okay, here we go. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Okay. Oh, no. This is not good. Not good. I'm about to be paid. I'm about to pay the price. What a right. It's time to berate our team. Getting relaxed, man. Clearly angry, unemployed, and is shouting instructions at his players. Because I'm the unemployed manager in this scenario. Yes, I don't have a name. I'm but an unemployed manager who's looking for his coaching certificates. Yes. We should have done better. We should have done better. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, the goals are great. And there's no such thing as tactical familiarity. There's no such thing as, the team is going to take a while for you to get down and dirty with your system. No. If they know it, they'll do it. That's my rationale behind it. I mean, if you've been on any of my shows, right, where I do bring your tactics, you will notice I change tactics every game, and some teams are still top of the table. I think this is it, man. This could be the start of a interesting Unai Emery experiment. Emery's 4-2-4 and Emery's 4-2-3-1. They're both interchangeable. I mean, it's definitely viable to play a 4-2-4 and a 4-2-3-1. It's a heck of a combination. Actually, we shouldn't be a sweeper keeper. It should be a goalkeeper, maybe a sweeper keeper on defense. And then we'll match this up. This goalkeeper will just play. I think we should just play him as a sweeper keeper on defense, right? So we'll just keep this both. I mean, you could change it to a goalkeeper on defense. I think that's not too much. I mean, the tactic will be available in the folder. Yeah, the Dropbox folder. All you got to do is go look for Emery 4-2-3-1 and Emery 4-2-4. Yes, I couldn't be more original. Right, this has 2 tactics. And one thing I noticed about AI Unai Emery was that whenever he played the 4-2-4, invariably they would win matches, even if he had to shift into the 4-2-3-1 to protect a lead. But when he starts with the 4-2-3-1, invariably the matches became harder. He would lose more games than he would win. So I think the strategy going forward would be to start with the 4-2-4 in most games, unless you are clearly favored to lose, and then you might think about the 4-2-3-1. But even then, I think the AI tried the same thing and it lost. So maybe go with the 4-2-4 and just not play with the 4-2-3-1 unless you want to defend the lead. Could be a way to go. It's the idea behind this show was really simple. Let's go, pair all these AI managers and come up with an AI manager replication. Yeah, we're always replicating the real guys in the world. Why don't we just replicate one of the AI managers in the game for a change? Yeah, we're coming to that point of the year where I try different things out. In fact, I do this during beta. When I come across a tactic that's got me scratching my head, that's when I start doing this. I start to dissect the tactic, and then I come up with other tactics that are similar to that, and that's how I play the game. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Let me know in the comments below, did you think Unai Emery was going to win this challenge? I certainly didn't, but it's been fun. At least, I learned something today on today's show as well. I mean, I've never used an inverted wing back with a register before. Hey, you learn something new, no matter how late you start playing the game of Football Manager. Take care of yourselves. Hope you enjoyed today's show. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.